Welcome. I'm Chef Deborah VanTrece. I own the catering company by VanTrece and Twisted Soul Cookhouse in Portis, both located in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for joining us. A Chinese American dish. It's been around for years. It's like a comfort food. It's very versatile. It's super easy. You can add veggies of your choice, whatever you have laying around in your refrigerator, and that's what makes it so easy and so fun and versatile. You can also add the addition of meat, shrimp, chicken if you want. So let's get started. All right, so we've got our ingredients here. A lot of these are probably things you just have laying around. There's substitutions you can make if you don't have these particular vegetables. We're going to start with the ingredients for the gravy. I've got vegetable broth. I have the roasted garlic hummus. I've got a light soy sauce, salt, white pepper, a little cornstarch, sesame oil, which may be a little bit of a specialty item, but you can find it in any grocery store. It's pretty inexpensive. We've got red peppers for our actual egg foo young, shredded carrots, mushrooms, broccoli, yellow onions, white will work just as fine, eggs. We've got a little garlic powder, onion powder, scallions all chopped up, frozen green peas that we thawed, a little oil, a little water. So let's get going. So to start, we're going to start with our sauce. The vegetable broth is super simple. One of the things that I suggest that you do is when you're chopping up vegetables at home, use the scraps, put them off to the side. The ones you don't use them by putting them off to the side. And once you get like a nice little amount of them, quart container, bowl of them or whatsoever, you can take them, put them in water for about 45 minutes, let it do a medium simmer, and make your own vegetable broth. So we've got vegetable broth going into our pan. We're going to bring it to like a little bit of a low simmer. I'm going to use my whisk, and I'm going to use the roasted garlic hummus. The cool thing about using the hummus is that the complexity from the dish, a lot of the flavor that enhances and complements the vegetables actually comes from the gravy. By using the hummus, we've taken like all of the complexity out of this. We're getting the taste without going through too many layers to get to that flavor. So we're going to add our hummus, just whisk it in. One of the things I like about using any of the Sabra hummus in dishes is that it does help flavor dishes, gives it a little bit of texture without too much trouble, without too much hassle. So I've got this mixed in. This looks really pretty. We're going to add some of the soy sauce, which will give us a little bit of a darker color. I'm going to do a pinch of salt. How about a couple of pinches of salt? Some white pepper. And then we're going to make a cornstarch slurry. We'll like set that, let it simmer for a while, and then we'll start on the slurry. So the slurry is what we're going to use to thicken this, to make it of a gravy-like consistency. We take cornstarch, and we'll add just a little bit of water. Just enough to make a paste. And you take your fingers, which I'm going to do. Let's start with a spoon. Kind of blend it in there. And then I'm going to actually just use my fingers. That way I can feel if it's blended, if it's completely blended, and if it's nice and smooth like I need it to be. So now that it's all together, I'm going to slowly whisk it in. And then we're going to let that simmer down for a little bit. After it simmers and thickens up some, we'll add the sesame seed oil. And that'll give it another hint of flavor. So we've got that on the back burner. It's on low. And now we're going to start on our vegetables. So we're going to do a light saute on the vegetables. I've got a light vegetable oil here. Gonna add about a tablespoon. I don't want too much because I don't want my veggies to be greasy. And again, with the veggies, you could have chosen asparagus. You can use Brussels sprouts, cabbage, any type of onion, any type of pepper, celery. It's really about whatever you have available. So this is really, really a great dish for you to just have in your little knowledge bank. Got mushrooms. Gonna do the carrots. Broccoli. Red peppers. And the onions. So sauteing these, we just want to do this enough for the onions to become translucent. I've got my heat on pretty high. We're looking at about 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm checking on my gravy back here. See how it's starting to thicken. Whisk that up just a little bit. Make sure it doesn't get any lumps in it. You can see the fresh pieces of garlic in it. The onions are smelling good. The aromas are great here. All right, let's let that sit for a little longer. And I've got 8 large eggs. We're going to whisk the eggs, beat them up. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my eggs because I want it a little light. I think it says about 4 tablespoons. You can do a little bit more. You could do a little less. Depends on how thin you'd like for your egg bouillon patty to be. So my beaten egg, I've got this garlic powder and onion powder blend. It's like I prefer to use a fine powder. Some people have granulated garlic and onion. That's fine too. I think it has a tendency to burn sometimes when you're frying, so that's why I prefer the powder. I'm gonna do a little bit extra because I am all about flavor. Oh. All right. So veggies look good. They look like they're sweated. Pretty color coming out on our broccoli. I'm gonna turn that off, let it cool just a little bit. In the meantime, we're gonna check back on our gravy. Gravy is looking perfect. So to finish off the flavor of this gravy, I've got sesame oil. going to add just a little bit of that. Stir that in. That is quite lovely. So before you came into the picture, I made my veggie broth by just adding scraps that I had from cutting up the vegetables. I also made my rice so it would be ready. I just have a long grain rice. You're welcome to use any type of rice that you like. So I've got my rice ready. My gravy's good. I'm going to put it as low as I can possibly get it so it just stays warm but doesn't continue to cook. We're going to get these veggies to cool down just a little bit. And I'm only agitating them now just so I can get them to cool a little bit quicker. Okay, so to the beaten egg, we're going to add these veggies. All right, so that I'm going to add the green peas. And then I'm going to add my green onions. I'm going to save a few onions to garnish at the end. So I'm going to use the same pan, add some oil, got it on a medium-high heat. This time I'm going to be a little bit more generous with the oil. So keep in mind, like I said, this is the equivalent of an omelet. It's like an open face omelet. Got this mixed up. This would be now the point where if you had some cooked meat, cooked chicken, beef, pork, or anything, you could add that also and cook it inside the patty. Super hot. Okay, so our oil's hot enough. So I'm going to do a scoop or about a half a cup or so. Put it in. And then take a spatula and kind of do a folding motion, just so I can make a little patty. So while that's cooking, it won't take long. We can go ahead, plate up a little bit of the rice. I don't know about you, but I love rice. And rice and eggs is one of my favorites. Okay, we're gonna gently flip this. Make our patty. Put this over here. I take like a tray or plate, do a paper line so we can drain some of the fat off. Then we would just start the process all over again. Should be able to get about 8 patties, 6 to 8 patties out of this. I usually serve about 2 per person. So if you're good at making regular omelets, you would be really great at doing this here. When you're cooking it, you're browning it till it's about a golden brown before you flip it. You can make them smaller, use them for little hors d'oeuvres, little appetizers. And as you go along, if you need additional oil, just add a little bit. These are often deep fried, but I prefer them pan fried. So we've got 2 egg patties. Just use a paper towel to get the excess oil off of them. Plate it over the rice. We'll drizzle the gravy over it. I like extra gravy. And garnish it with our chopped scallions. And that's it. That's our hummus egg fouillon. Also, it's a great dish because it's gluten-free. Let me get a bite. I'm sorry, I haven't had lunch, so. Yeah. Good stuff here. Okay, we're all done. Any questions?
Someone said that looks so good.
It is delicious. It really, really is. And it's good for brunch. You know, it's good for lunch. It's good for dinner. So it's just a really fantastic dish. It's really impressive to be so simple.
Can I use any type of oil as a replacement for the sesame oil?
Yes, you can. The sesame oil does give it a little bit of extra flavor, but honestly, the roasted garlic hummus, the flavor it gives it is enough to carry the dish, even without the sesame oil.
Abby Christman wants to know, what's the best knife to use for chopping vegetables?
I mean, for me, because I'm a professional, I can use just about any knife. As a woman, I like a smaller knife. I like a chef's knife. And for something like this, you know, kind of an all-around knife for me is about an 8-inch chef's knife.
Donna would like to know, why did you add the sesame oil to the gravy and not the vegetable?
You could actually do both. It's not my preference, only because I find that the sesame oil is really strong, very potent, and I didn't want to overpower the flavor of my vegetables. So that's why I just put a hint of it into the gravy itself.
Nicholas would like to know, could you use peppers for the veggie medley for more kick?
Yes, yes. It's like the veggie medley itself. It lets your mind, your heart create whatever it is, what your favorite vegetables are. If you want heat, again, if you want to add protein of any sort, it's going to work.
Francis would like to know, will there be a written recipe for us to follow at home?
Yes, Francis, I do believe so. A matter of fact, I know there will be. They're just waiting to post up that incredible recipe.
Michelle said, I can smell how delicious this looks from home.
Look good. It does. It smells good. It really, really is good, guys. And I grew up eating egg foo young. So it's a dish that's true to my heart. Believe it or not, I grew up in the Midwest, and we, for whatever reason, they were served with crackers, saltine crackers. I don't know why, but that is exactly how they were served. Of course, I didn't serve them with saltine crackers because now it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but it really is a great dish.
Is it hard for someone who's not a kitchen saver? I'm assuming that means maybe, is it hard for someone to cook if they're not really like kitchen savvy?
No, it's not hard at all. Start out with things that are simple, and you'll find once you conquer those small challenges, you'll start taking on bigger ones and bigger ones, and you'll start, your repertoire will get bigger, and you'll become really good at this. It's not that difficult, It's just something you have to be willing to just open up your mind and try it. I think we got another question. Nope, that's it. Okay, well, thank you again for joining us for Sabra Hummus at Home. Please pay attention to Sabra so that you can at least follow them and enjoy some more incredible dishes, as they have some great chefs lined up that will be doing this as well. If you're interested in what we're doing, please follow me at Chef Deborah VanTrece or at Twisted Soul Cookhouse and Pours to see the things that we plan and to get additional recipes from us. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.